Well, now to something most of us don't get enough of. You can crave it, you can snatch a little bit of it here and there, and a lot of the time you can think you can live without it. But how important is sleep, especially for our kids? And joining me to talk about this is parenting expert Claire Orange. Claire, welcome to the program.
Thanks,
now,
Amy.
Claire, we know what happens when we're tired. Keys in the fridge, we can't remember what we're talking about mid-sentence. It happens to me all the time. But what effect does a lack of sleep have on children?
Oh, it has a fundamental impact, Emmy, and it's getting more important. I think the results this week coming out about childhood obesity speak for themselves. You know, that's a big part of it. If we're adults and reach for something sweet because we're sleep deprived, so do our kids. There's resilience, behavioural issues at school and at home. They're all part of that. Learning issues very much impacted by a lack of sleep in our children.
Let's talk about that link between childhood obesity and a lack of sleep. What exactly is the research showing?
Well, the research is showing very scary numbers in Australia. So I think we're talking about 1 in 4 children is showing a pattern of childhood obesity. And really what it's doing is we've got children who are tired, who are unable to emotionally self-regulate because they're tired. So they're looking for ways to bolster themselves and to get those brain chemicals to get them back into focusing and being able to do what they need to do. So food is one of those things, but generally we'll reach for something sweet instead of reaching for a protein, and kids do that. So the more we do that and the less sleep children have, the more likely they are to end up with weight problems, as we are as adults.
Now, Claire, I understand routine is key here.
Yeah.
How early should we be starting this all?
Well, do you know what, Emmy? It starts in utero. We think it doesn't, but it actually starts in utero. So we know that mums who in that 3rd trimester take periods of time during the day to rest end up with babies who sleep better. So if the training begins then as soon as that baby's born, and, you know, the attachment is really important. I'm not one for not being attached to a baby, but in terms of teaching that self-settling behaviour, you can't start too early with a child with being able to form very healthy, hygienic sleeping patterns.
So we should be getting those feet up while we're pregnant.
Absolutely.
Finally, what are your top 3 tips for a child who just won't self-settle?
Top 3 tips. I would start with a graduated series of behaviours for that child. So start with a bedtime ritual, things that cause angst at bedtime, like, you know, one of the favourites is, I don't want to read that book, I want to read another book. So things that cause emotional outbursts, especially from parents. Try and get rid of them early in the day. Get that child to put 2 books on their pillow before they go to school. So have a routine, have a ritual with that child that tells their brain they're going to go to sleep. And encourage that child to settle off to sleep by themselves, and not staying in the room with a child, not so much a baby, but definitely with a child, of encouraging them into sleeping by themselves.
Okay, Claire, appreciate your time and your
pleasure.
advice. Once again, thanks very much.
Thanks, Emmy.